What's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the new album from Deep Sun. The name of the album is Dreamland, Behind the Shades. And y'all know, before I get into that nitty gritty, let's check out the cover. So boom, there it is. Take a look at that bad boy. I really dig this cover on all fronts. Aesthetically, I mean, just look at it. It's just really nice. I love like the purple kind of colors to it. And then you got the lady, she's kind of in like a red dress and she's falling through kind of a portal or like a dreamlike state almost. And there's a reflection of her in this glass. She's going down. It reminds me of like Alice Through the Looking Glass, sort of. And, it fits the name of the album, Dreamland, Behind the Shades. So, she's like swirling into this other almost reality, this dreamlike world. And it's just really cool. I just love the way it looks. So A+ on the cover design and just the colors and what it invokes, to the viewer, the person looking at it and whatnot. And as far as it conveying what you're going to get, I definitely think this conveys very well. If you're at the CD shop, you've never heard of Deep Sun before, you see this cover and you see the way the text of Deep Sun is laid out and just the name of the album and the way she's kind of falling in through there. It definitely gives you the idea this is some kind of symphonic metal, I would say. Yeah, I mean, it really conveys, I think, what you can expect. You may wonder if it's more on the symphonic side or a little more maybe on the rock side or melodic metal kind of side, but either way, I think it conveys you're going to get some female fronted symphonic style metal here. So I dig it, the cover aesthetically and conveying what you're going to get. So yeah, you wouldn't be disappointed if you just pick this up thinking it looked cool, and you're going to get what you expect. So I dig it. Now let's talk about the album itself. This bad boy's got 11 songs on there. It comes in at about 47 minutes, and right when it starts out with the prologue, you get the sense of what the whole album's going to entail. It kind of starts out with like a whimsical kind of sound with symphonic elements, and it's really cool. It has like a dreamy kind of sound to it, like a magical, whimsical, dreamy kind of sound to really get you in the mindset of what you're going to get here. And now just to give an overview before I kind of talk about the songs themselves. Symphonic metal here, folks. That's what you're going to get, and it's done so well. I actually had to listen to this album a couple more times than I usually do before I do a review, because it really is quite complex. There's a lot going on here, so it took a couple extra listens for me to fully get my thoughts together on how to approach discussing this or giving you guys my feelings on it, because like I said, there's a lot going on here. On the surface, yes, it's like your typical symphonic metal, but there's lots of layers here, kind of like ogres, how they say ogres have layers like onions, Anywho, Shrek reference, but yeah, it really is quite complex with the arrangements and the movements within each song and all of the instruments and symphonic elements at play here. So it really took me a couple extra listens to fully get my thoughts together, but really dynamic sound. Every song on here stands on its own merit, and every song here kind of tells its own story through the music, and it really gets you into that feeling of this dreamlike kind of state, but with a bombastic kind of symphonic sound. It really is incredible. Like I said, the arrangements, the musicianship here, whether it be the guitars or the keyboards or symphonic orchestral elements going on here, it really pulls you in to this world that they've kind of created with this sound, and it really is remarkable. You get sweeping scores, almost of a cinematic quality, You get some heavier moments courtesy of some heavy guitars. There's one song, even just one song, that has some harsh vocals that almost has, like I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say like a heavy metal breakdown, but it's got some probably the most hard hitting guitars, and almost like a breakdown quality that just really, really hits you hard. And then you got songs that take on more of a folk kind of sound with, almost like a tin whistle or flute kind of tune going to give that folk element. So there's really a lot to play with here. And then you got songs that are more, like I would say, on the complex side, that just remarkably arranged and put together, and the mix is really, really great here too. You hear every sound, every instrument very clear, and it all just tells a story, which is just wonderful. And then on top of all that, Deborah's vocals, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. She's got such a versatile voice. Some moments she's doing an operatic style that is just beautiful. Other moments, she's got more of an aggressiveness kind of to her voice, but never like, I'm not talking like growls or anything like that. By any stretch, there's never any harshness really in her voice, but there's an edge to it that really, hits some of those notes, and really hammers it, home, or whatnot. It gives to that impactful moment. She's just got such a versatile voice, like I said, because there's a lot going on here with the music, and the changes, and the music, and the tempos, or the melodies, and all of that, and she's just right there in the forefront holding her own, which is always impressive when the music is so bombastic and grand, and so many shifts, and the movements, and she's just right there on top of it. You can hear her nice and clear, and it's the icing on the cake. So vocals, incredible. The music, again, is put together so well. And yeah, overall, what you're going to get here is a lot of bombast, a lot of grand or orchestral symphonic elements here in the music that kind of sweep you and take you away. But then it's all grounded, really, I'd say, by some heavy guitar work, and great guitar work. And all of the musicianship here is just top notch. And it all just comes together to form this really nice package that, again, while you're listening to it, if you look at the cover, it invokes, the music is telling kind of that story. You can just kind of see it as if you're swirling through this dreamlike state. Really, really nice. So if you're in the market for some female-fronted symphonic metal with some strong symphonic elements, and a lot of movements and complexities in the sound, this is definitely here for you. But like I said, the prologue kind of starts you out with that whimsy, that magical, dreamlike state, and then the track 2, Behind the Shades, it comes out and hits you hard with some guitars. This heavy guitar riff that's kind of like, whoa, okay, we're getting into this. But then it shifts to the more symphonic, and all of that. And I would say Behind the Shades is one of the more complex songs on the album. That's one in particular I had to listen to multiple times, because it's got lots of different elements throughout this whole song. I believe it's the longest song on the album, a little over 7 minutes, and it really kind of sets the tone. It's almost like the song as if, the prologue is you falling into this dreamlike state, and then Behind the Shades is like, boom, it hits you, and sets the stage, sets the scene. For here you are, you're in this world, and you're hitting the ground running. You get Dream Master, which was a single, as track 3, just wonderful, glorious, very reminiscent of Tarja Turunen era. Nightwish, some of the more operatic vocals here on this song. Track 4, Live in the Dream, is one of my favorites. Again, this was a single. This one really showcases Deborah's voice, I think, the most in one song, because you kind of get all elements of what she's capable of, and it's just remarkable. Then you get Killer in a Dream, which again is another single. And this song, I'm telling you, if anyone here that is working on the next James Bond 007 movie, which I doubt, but if you're watching this, Deep Sun has got to create the next James Bond theme for the next movie. I'm not kidding here, folks. We need to start a petition because this song is amazing, and you can just visualize, the opening sequence of a James Bond movie, all stylized and showing the credits and all that. With this song, it's just so cool, so cool. I love it. So yeah, they need to do the next James Bond theme. I'm telling you, it would be killer. No pun intended. Then you get track 6 in Silence, which is more of a not like a ballad, but it's more of a softer, more it's got more of a ambient kind of sound, more of a ethereal almost kind of sound. Again, very reminiscent of Tadia era, Nightwish. Um, really great. Secret Garden comes back with some of that bombast, symphonic bombast again. And then you get another one of my favorite, I keep saying another one of my favorite songs on here, but there are so many songs on here I added to a playlist. This song, though, is the most unique, I would say, because I actually added it to a symphonic metal playlist of mine and a folk metal playlist of mine because it's very folk metal meets symphonic metal. Really, really cool. It's called, and forgive my, mispronunciation, but it's called Mitternachtstanz. So good, so jig worthy. It's incredible. I love it. Just goes to show the versatility of not only Deborah's vocals, but also just the band musically that they're able to pull something like this off. And if a fellow Ranger, the King of Pikmin, is watching this right now, this is probably going to be your favorite song on the album. I know how you love folk metal, and this is going to be right down your alley. So whether you finish watching this video and then check out that song right after, or whether I've piqued your curiosity enough to where you're going to pause this video and go listen to Mitternachtstanz and then come back to the video, it's up to you. But get a big jug ready because it's going to be overflowing with tea on that song. You get Hands in Anger, which is the song I was talking about, where it's got the harsh vocals. It's one of the heavier hitting songs. It's got a real pounding moment, kind of throwing elbows. It's really, really sick. I love it. Then you got another one that's got some folk vibes. Track 10, Rogue, Dreaming Leprechaun Part 2. Beautiful, beautiful song. Another one I added to a playlist here, and closes out with Euphoria with another bombastic symphonic metal song that rounds it out very, very well. So, yeah, that's really my thoughts on this bad boy here. Impeccably put together symphonic metal album here. Really here, this one and the album from Forces Ventus, Vertelia. These two albums here dropping this month here in June. Two of the best, easily I can say, two of the best female-fronted symphonic metal albums of the year so far, hands down. Hands down. So if you're a fan of female-fronted symphonic metal, do not miss this. Do not miss this. Really, it's incredibly solid, and musically and vocally, and just the theme that it creates is just a very enjoyable one to listen to and become enthralled with. So yeah, they're really taking you here into a dreamland behind the shades. So yeah, and as I always say, if you're just going to give the album one chance, one song, you're like, hey, Power Metal Ranger, tell me one song that you think best encapsulates the vibes or feeling of the whole album in one song, so I can listen to that and determine if I want to hear the whole thing. Honestly, you can really go with any of the singles, but I would say check out track 4, Living the Dream, which just so happens to be a single. I think that best gives you the impression of all of the elements that are included on the whole album. But honestly, I would say just start the album. Just check out the whole thing. But again, if you're going to give it one shot, listen to Living the Dream, and I think that's going to convince you more than enough to listen to the whole thing. So those are my thoughts. I've enjoyed multiple listens of this album, and I'm sure there's going to be more to come. So yeah, big applause to Deep Sun with their latest album, Dreamland, Behind the Shades. Really well done, masterfully put together, and it's beautiful, it's bombastic, it's hard-hitting, it's magical, all in one. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below if you've listened to this bad boy already. What are your thoughts on it? And if you haven't listened to it yet, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? But yeah, let's talk about this thing here in the comments below. And as always, thank you all for checking this out. And I'll catch you next time. Ranger, out.